Welcome to Crimson Guitars. I'm Ben Crow. I'm in my home studio at the moment, currently reaching the end of building a Cyberpunk 2077 inspired guitar. This is using one of our bass kit guitars, and I've gone somewhat crazy. And at this point, right now, I am getting ready to glue the neck in. Burn it. Haha! Yay! I've spent the better part of a day sanding and fine sanding and hand sanding, and it hasn't looked this clean in quite some time. The neck is ready, although I do need to put some bevels here to match these sort of bevels on the body. There we go, there's a good example. Here's the other part. It's coming together. I have rough sanded to about 220 grit, and at this point I want to glue the neck in before staining and spraying and all of that. I'm running out of time. We have instigated this giant worldwide guitar building competition called the Great Guitar Build-Off. Check out the website, links below or wherever, somewhere. And I kind of need to get started on that project. So I really need to get this one finished. Hey Tiger, what's up? You got mud on your face. Cue a bunch of people singing. What you doing? I'm supposed to be gluing a neck in and you're distracting me. Meow. Should we tell everybody about how you got stuck up a tree and I had to go and rescue you in the neighbour's garden? And then he clawed me half to death, but only after I'd got him down, because that's the smart time to do it. This is sticking up. I need to get rid of that. So the thread insert comes out because it was poking into the neck pocket. I'm going to glue the neck in. There we go. That'll be all right. And then I'll drill into the back of the neck and we'll be okay. My masking tape trick. The other one. Aha! I knew where it was all along, I'm honest. There we go. I have glue squeeze out all around the joint. I always keep a little bottle of water, little spray bottle of water around. I don't want to inundate any part of a guitar with water, but it does become useful. So I'm just using the screwdriver to manipulate this. It's been quite a long day. Good night. We're done, glued in, and I kind of sort of maybe think I know what I'm doing tomorrow. That's questionable. It's been overnight, and I am ready for another day of fine sanding and mucking about with stain. I have made an executive decision. I am not, as was originally the plan, going to be messing around with rattle can finishes too much here. Basically, I am running out of time. I mean, that could actually be a functional guitar if it really wanted to be. I love it. Okay, so we've got a good neck joint. She's glued in. We're complete. I want to do the guitar justice, and at this point, I've taken far too long. And with the current facilities I have available here, I don't want to run the risk of totally ruining it by rushing a rattle can paint job, something I haven't done in many, many years. I am going to do that in some projects from this workshop moving forward. I need to make a little proto spray booth kind of thing with a fan and all that jazz. And that'll be a one-day build video at some point. What I'm going to do now is fine sand everything, stain it. It has to be blue. There also has to be some orange. And then I'm going to take it to Crimson, where I have a full spray booth and people who are qualified and good at using it. And we're going to do a flash coat, which is a very, very quick 2-pack lacquer that we use predominantly for, well, some of the production guitars that we build, but our students, we have people come down for between 5 days and 3 months to learn how to build guitars, and a lot of them, on the shorter courses at least, will use a flash coat because it's very, very, very quick and also gives a very cool finish. So yes, I'm going to do that. That was a lot of talking. Sorry. I think I'm known for talking a lot, actually. Don't know where to put any of this stuff. My little clamping block was cut off a piece of wood from my wood turning area, and the wood is called Moohoo. I love it. We have the guitar. The thinking is blue, all of the flat surfaces, sunk, spray paint metallic orange in there, and on this bevel, sink, and that bevel, and then potentially all of the exposed wood here will be metallic orange, and this bevel here will be blue. Or maybe just the bevel will be orange and everything else will be blue. Stop changing things right at the last minute. Stop laughing at me, child. See you in a second. Dusty. All good though. So at this stage, I'm going to stop for a coffee. Let's play about with some stain then. One of the most successful things that we have ever created at Crimson Guitars is our range of stains. Named, not erroneously, Stunning Stains. We do a water-based stain and a spirit-based stain in a range of colors and different options. And there are many different ways that one can play with these. I am going to stick with spirit-based throughout today, I think. But I just wanted to mention quickly that some gorgeous effects can be achieved by mixing both, i.e. a spirit-based stain direct onto the flame maple, for example, and once that's cured and dried and all that jazz, a water-based over it, and it gives a very pleasing combination of both colors. So here is an example where you can see the orange through the blue, and there again I put blue as a base on that one, and then orange over it. Hasn't worked quite as well as I'd liked. This was me playing with a rattle can of Ford electric orange. All of that being said, I am going to be staining part of this orange, potentially going back after the fact with some orange hammerite paint by hand or something like that. And then I'm going to stain the rest of it just a flat royal blue. So we start with this sort of relatively heavy-duty industrial tissue. We also, after many years of people asking us to, have started selling this. It's very good. Yes, I just used my nose as a tool. What can I say? So, fold it up so that it is a nice tool. I'm going to start with the royal blue. I should be wearing gloves, but well, they're in the van and it's all that way. I'm just going to have stained fingers for a while. Now, I'm not putting huge amounts on. I want to use this as a relatively dry tool. Shake vigorously before you start. So we go from that to that. Now I'm going to be relatively careful here. I don't particularly want to get stain on the bevel, but I've not made my life easy. There's just no way to effectively mask that off, you see. Paintbrush. Again, I'm putting it on very, very dry. Trying not to get it anywhere I don't want. And then with a relatively clean and dry piece of tissue, I'm taking off any excess. Oh, and if you care, chicken alert, we've just found out that one of the three is not a chicken. It is in fact a rooster and unfortunately will be replaced with a fluffy thing, apparently. And then on to the orange stain. Now this should be easier. If necessary, I can sand excess off. I immediately don't like it. Technically, this is what I was after, but the reality is not making me happy. So you work from the middle of the area you're staining to the edge, if you have a defined edge, and hopefully, if you've got it dry enough and the tool is being held precisely enough, you won't wander too much. And that worked pretty much as planned. I'm unconvinced. I think I'm going to percolate. I'm going to just figure this one out and see what it feels like. I suspect that what's going to happen is either I'm going to stain a water-based stain over the orange and get a sort of muddy orange kind of thing going on, which could look quite cool, or after the lacquer has been applied, I will go with some solid, vibrant, maybe even metallic, bright orange. I think that the fact that this is a stain and the wood is coming through, etc., it doesn't look as cool as it should. But I'm going to carry on regardless. Fairly sure that all of the highlighted pieces that need to be orange are going to be painted after the fact. Yeah, that was, after all, the original plan anyway. No. No, no, no. I mean, we're not going for subtlety with this guitar. Not by a long shot. But that's, poop. Poop. Okay, I've utterly changed my mind with this. I am not going for bright strips. We've got bright strips elsewhere. I am going to have, applied after the fact, gloss black in these bevels. So yeah, that's going to be a really, really nice black eventually. And it's going to be applied with a paintbrush, it won't be stained. Yeah, I like that. Might even just leave it blue. Disassemble. Alright, that's pretty much it. That's better. That is better. What remains to question is this flash of white there, and we've got the faux binding. There's a couple of strips of faux binding. I'm fully aware that if you are going to basically relic something, make it look old and damaged and abused, you really should start with a perfect finish. I don't have the luxury of time at this point. Yet again, I'm in the last 5% of the build and somewhat rushing it. But it kind of fits with the aesthetic we're going for anyway, so. You don't want to mess up applying stain on end grain because it's pretty much there for good. Okay, from here, I am taking this to Crimson, where Josh, I suspect, is going to be hitting it with a flash coat and just double checking and having a go at this. I'm having a really blue day today, actually, aren't I? I should have gone with denim stain. Okay, I'm much happier than I thought I would be about 45 minutes ago when I saw what that orange against the blue looked like. Yeah, I still have a few tricks up my sleeve. This is going to be one incredibly interesting guitar, I think. This is yet to be seen. I love how quickly this finish goes. It is the next day. I dropped the guitar off with Josh at Crimson Guitars, and he only gave it half of it back to me. Nah, we're good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hang this up and get the other piece out. Oh, yes. Well, there we go. Well, that's interesting. So the lacquer over the Perspex has actually cleared it up somewhat. There's still masking tape and all sorts of stuff in there, but this is the basic idea. Okay, so I need to paint that red, I think, and I need to just get the top layer of lacquer off that, because I don't like that. Well, let's have a closer look then. This is Crimson's Royal Blue stain. I actually quite like the blue through that. Just on the edge, I told Josh not to worry too much about this because I want to paint it or something. And it's gone through just a fraction there. That normally wouldn't, well, would have been fixed. I really like how this is looking. But I'm sure I could take it a little bit further. The question is, should I or not? I am going with a traditional color, which is bright yellow. Yeah, this is going to need a few coats, I think. Not 100% happy, but I'm going to go over, do a few more coats, and we've got a spot of color and a bit of flash. So, yeah. Now, in other news, while grinding down the bolts, they ended up being blued, and I love that effect. So, it's going to be pretty damn cool. Before I do anything drastic, I'm just going to put it all together and see. I quite like the blue, I really do. So we've got a sort of aged yellow look. Through handling, I've taken some of the bluing off the bolts. I've had multitudinous ideas about what to do on these bevels. There are things that we can do, but I think anything else will be a little bit too much. I know. I have to admit this is me, and yeah, I'm gonna hold back. I went and bought a bunch of chrome trim on the advice of one of you fine people, and various different sizes and things. And I thought, you know what, I can just stick some of this chrome stuff on here, and it would look great, and it would, but it's too shiny. It's too new. We've got this relatively small stuff, sticky backed. Here's a test I did earlier of some of the bigger stuff. And I just don't think that it would work with this. So I'm going to gently touch up just this little area there. Is the thinnest line of where it's gone through during the rubbing down process. And, well, I'm not even sure I want to put anything in here. I'm going to leave that right to the end. I think I'm going to put a small piece of chrome on that, because why not? That is quite insanely cool. Maybe not. Maybe. The hardware is going to be pretty damn shiny as well. Now, there is another option, and that is there's another segment of it that's actually pretty much a fret. It's a T-shape, and I can Dremel a channel and hammer it in, much like fretting. No, that would be a funny trick. We should play on somebody. Let's make a guitar with that as fret wire and give it to some guitarist who we don't like. Surely there's one of those. No. Nope. No. No matter how long I take on a project, no matter how much I think about a project, in the end it comes down to physically doing the thing on the day and going, yeah, no, or yeah. I've got some excess perspex in here. I need to chip that away. I've just had a thought. Possibly these are a good idea. Health and safety, y'all. That is a nasty noise. Crimson 10, get yourself 10 quid or 10 pounds off. They're great. Do you know what? Work smart, not hard. I have a half guitar, which means I can get in from the angle with a saw and cut most of this away before I chisel anything out. Fretting saw, and also pull cut. Nearly there. What are you fixating on? Is it fluffy? Oh my God, it is. We make our own pickups most of the time. That's perfectly fine. In fact, better than perfectly fine. Frickin' awesome. I mean, I've wanted to be able to make my own pickups for decades now. This guitar needed something specific. And these could very well have been custom made just for it. This is not paid advertising or sponsorship. It is just, they are exactly what was needed. Check it out. Of course, I'm talking about a set of Fishman Fluence humbuckers. Because, well, just look at the damn things. Come on, out you go. So I'm going to need to do some fiddling. Yeah, that cavity's not quite, well, probably is actually. Should I do it? I've got to do it, don't I? See what I mean? Isn't that just perfect? Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, I am very, very, very glad that we are at this stage, i.e., as many in the comments below the last video thought. One, my son is very cute. Two, he talks in a mixture of American and British accents because he watches a lot of YouTube. And not me, really. Three, there is, after this video, one more to come. So, yeah. But I am very happy because we're there. We're almost at the end of this build. I've had to change my plans for the Great Guitar Build-Off competition because, quite frankly, what I had planned, while it would knock the socks off everybody, would take just too damn long. So I'm going to put that one on the back burner for now. But I've got some pretty cool ideas. And I'm really looking forward to that. But I need to get on with that now because the videos are supposed to start going in a couple of weeks, which means this series has to end now. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, seriously, come on, please. You know, you kind of have to at this point. It's a moral obligation. And yeah, if you like the video, please click like, mash that the notification button. That's what I'm supposed to be asking you for. Instagram, Patreon, yada yada, all of that jazz. Or don't do any of that and just continue to watch the videos. And let me know what you think in the comments below. See you guys in a bit. Goodbye.